Do 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 do
Spiritual sex and candy, yeah.
Hello, sultry souls, and welcome to Spiritual Sex and Candy. I am Heather, the Shamanic Sweetener, and today, of course, we have my co-host, JP Adkins, our Freedom Jedi. Hi, JP.
Hi, everybody. How's everything going today? It's so nice to
Yeah,
see
I am
you.
fantastic. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing good. Life is good. Life is good.
Good, good, good. I have to get rid of this thing. Sorry. Hold on. There we go. Welcome, everyone. It is our episode 22. Here is your trigger warning. We are a warning label. We talk about sex. We talk about drugs. We talk about all the dirty, nasty fucking things that you do when you're doing those things in your healing process. And we talk about all the sugar. All the some of the times that is candy. And sometimes we talk about all the amazing, beautiful things that happen when we heal. But if you are easily offended, you don't like the word fuck, then it's time for you to please show yourself out. And we love you anyway, but it's time for you to move on because we don't want to hear about it. These are our opinions, and yeah, we're gonna talk about what the fuck we want to talk about. So there's that part.
There is that part.
And for everyone who is still here, we really fucking appreciate you. And thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us and doing the listening to us ramble about our spirituality and our healing process. And hopefully you pick up some wisdom along the way because we're on episode
It's been,
22.
today has
And
been, today just has been.
what's up?
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. We're on episode 22. And it's Own Your Throne, Claiming Your Sovereignty. We are going to talk about your spiritual path and what that looks like for people and what it can look like for you if you're struggling to claim your own sovereignty and how you believe.
Yeah, and it's so powerful to have a strong belief system behind you that you actually believe, not that's been fed to you.
Yes. Yes. Can we turn you up, Jeff? Is there a way? You just sound really far away. I miss your big boomy microphone.
It's wanting to give me into the camera and instead of into the headphones.
So let's see if that works a little better. No?
Yeah, you sound about the same.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to give me the microphone other than the camera phone.
Okay.
I'm not getting another version, really. Maybe this one?
Oh, that sounds, yeah, that's you're louder at least with that one.
Okay. Awesome. I still feel like a dumb movie because I'm getting some um, delay. So I don't know if you're getting the delay on your side, but on my side, I have like 20 seconds or, off.
There's a little bit of delay. It's not quite that off, but it's like a Japanese subbed movie.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. I needed to make you laugh today.
Today is. So let me just tell you, my major project is coming to a head. So
At
it
your muggle job, as we like to call it.
yes, at the Muggle job, and today has been one of those days where every 30 seconds someone has something to say to me. I am busy. Literally, the other program turns off tonight at midnight.
Oh,
So I'm
oh,
trying. Yeah.
this is it.
So I'm doing. This is it. I'm doing all kinds of things, and it's last day, and then there's 50 things people are asking me. I'm like, I don't fucking care about that right now. Right now, what I care about is getting all this stuff that I need out of this program before it turns off. That's what I need right now. Anything that's not that, I don't care about. Figure it out. Figure out what's going on, and I. Once you figure out what's going on, tell me what's actually going on. I will tell you how to fix it. And come to find out, what's going on is that people are not necessarily the smartest people, and they're not filling out the form all the way. By the way, we recreated it with the owner, and then he found where he did, and it was, and so it's been just since first thing this morning, and then add on top of it the stuff around the challenge and some feelings of imposter syndrome and feelings of that, and it all comes up and it all is beautiful and it's all part of the experience. And
It is, but but having a belief system is really important through this time as well. I
right.
know, like, and I want to publicly, though was a private thing between Jeff and I, but I have not been able to be present for you over the past week, and I've been in my own, dealing with my own things, and like we had a hurricane and shit, but
Right. like don't think anything bad about that. I mean, it was just um yeah, I am totally, you are always there for me. Even when you're not there for me, you're there for me. And I know that. I know that.
yeah, we just, and I am this, and it is who I am, but so I'm so blunt, and sometimes, like, when I am overwhelmed at this point in my life, or I have too much energy and I can't receive someone's energy, I don't know how to be nice about it, because when I realize that I can't, like, I don't have the capacity to receive, I am very, like, I can't do this right now. I just can't. I can't do this for you. I can't be what you want me to be right now in this moment. And I have to go right now. I have to hang up right now. And it is never anything personal against anyone. And Jeff's not the only one that
No.
I've done this to. So, I mean, as he pointed out, he's like, I've seen you do it to other people. And the reason is I used to have no boundary whatsoever.
Hmm.
And I would take on everyone's stuff all the time, all the time, all the time. And even when I was really overwhelmed and I didn't have the capacity, I didn't even know I didn't have the capacity to take on anyone else's stuff. I just did all the time. And now I have to, and it's still very hard for me to do that,
Hmm.
because as a healer, as a mentor, as a teacher, as all the fucking things, I want to be available all the time,
Hmm.
especially to the people that mean the most to me and are the closest to me. And so those are the ones that it's much easier for me to be polite to someone I don't know and go, I'm so sorry, but I'm busy. You know what I mean? But when it's someone I really care about, it hurts me to have to say it, I think, is part of it. And so I just, like, I have to
Yeah.
shut you off because I
Can I
can't
give a
I
little bit
can't
of
receive what
context?
you need right now.
Yeah, can I give a little bit of context because it was so much bigger. She's like, it was I had just done a healing session pretty much unexpectedly and in a weird way. This guy came over. You guys get it all, right? You guys are handling all the things, and this guy came over. We were going to hook up, and we did. It was fun. It was great. And then we started talking, and come to find out, he lost his wife 6 years ago. He had kind of broken down and like had his whole identity ripped out from underneath him, and then he realized he's gay, and you know, and I think he knew that, but a little bit before that, but it was like, he's really acting on it now that he has no one there, and he's really liking it, and there's all these things going on, and there's all this stuff, and then I had this big huge energy session, and right after this energy session I call Heather because I'm like kind of excited and my energy is spewing all over the place and I need to come back, and Heather does that a lot for me. She's a container, and she can push that energy kind of like into a manageable area, or just tell me to let it go and say, wow, isn't that cool? And she's having a hurricane. So she's literally sitting there doing protection and like doing and all the stuff, and I walked in on it and I knew what was happening, and I asked her about how she was doing, if she was all prepared, but for about 30 seconds of that, and she's like, yeah, good, everything's fine. And so I started into what was going on, and she's like, I can't do that right now, I'm trying to protect my life. And I'm like, that makes perfect sense. But it was so brisk, and then she's like, I'll talk to you in a couple days. And it was like, that was the part that was like, no, you don't talk to me in a couple days, we talk every day. There's something wrong here. So then I'm worried that I offended her in the conversation because it was a little weird and it was little, and I didn't. It was just she was stressed in that moment and there was a lot going on, and I think we talked about that, and I think she said that I didn't offend her. Now I say that. But, it was just like, oh, okay. And that's the thing with people is that what I realize is that sometimes, you have to be really super conscious about that, even the people that you're really close with. But there's only a few people that I talk to about the energy stuff, and Heather is one of them. So
right, and it was a combination of things. So it was like,
right.
Jeff and I talk about all the you guys think we get personal on here. You have no idea what the fuck we actually talk about when we talk on the phone. And we do it on a regular basis. And so it was just a lot. And I just didn't have the capacity to control his energy and protect my house from a hurricane.
Yeah.
Which
And
took a toll on me. I didn't even realize in the moment because I was so calm about it. And I was so like, I'm okay. And then I was not for a couple days. Like after everything was like, I was okay because once I hung up with you, I was like, okay, I could get back to what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, the after effect physically for me, because I didn't have any emotional reaction to what was going on, I was scary calm through the whole thing. Like my roommates, my friends that I stay with, she's like, I'm worried because people that don't normally worry about hurricanes are worrying about this hurricane. And she's talking to all these people, and I'm like, we're going to be fine. Our bubble is going to be fine. But it was so, but I couldn't just tell her that. I'm like, we'll make it through. We're going to be good,
Right.
And we did. We lost power for like 5 hours. We were really, I'm super blessed. We live in a really nice neighborhood. It's a new neighborhood. So the drainage is really, really good. Everything is away from the houses, and we have big, huge ponds and drainage, so we did not flood, but it was still scary. I mean, like the hurricane came over the top of us. We were like right in the path. We were, you know. Hi, Tina. I want to shout out to one of my
Yes.
dearest, closest peeps.
I put it
Tina.
up there for a minute.
One blessed
I love
hot
her.
mess. Yes, you are, baby. Yes, you are.
So, yeah, I just, it was a really weird week. It's been a really weird week all the way
Yeah.
around. And I am so ready for today to be over. And I know that's horrible to say, but I really am. Um, just to have that turn off and then deal with the fallout from it. Like, there will be fallout. There's going to be fallout. It's going to happen. There's going to be something we didn't get. There's going to be something that didn't happen. There's going to be something that, just the nature of the beast. I just transported 22,000 people from one program to another program. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Something's good, with 10 years worth of data. There's going to be something that we're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't grab that.
Right.
Just like if you were moving a house or, whatever,
Yeah.
moving across
I
country.
just had that conversation with my friends in Vegas that I was staying with, of like, odds and ends that I didn't even know that I left there,
Mm-hmm.
type of
tweezers.
thing. It just is. No matter how much you plan or try to get things together, it
Right.
just happens, right?
We were talking about your tweezers, and that's what it reminds me of. It's like, your tweezers. Like, yes, I need tweezers. Yes, they're there. They're important. And no, they didn't make it. How they didn't make it, I don't know. Everything else in that section made it. But,
Yeah.
that's got to be what it's got to be like. It's got to be like, oh, we don't have tweezers. And that's how I'm going to label it all.
Yeah,
The
it's
tweezers.
surprising when you move, and the way I moved. So I didn't like pack things in a car and drive across the country. I probably wouldn't have forgotten anything if I could have packed it all in a car, you know what I mean? But I was not. I was taking it on an airplane. And can I just say that, hindsight is 2020. We always say that, you can always look back and say that you would do things different. The one thing I would have done in this is I would have paid the $125 to just bring one more piece of luggage, because it's going to cost me at least that to ship my stuff that I left there out to me. And I could have just packed one more bag and paid the 125 and had all my stuff with me right now. And of course, now I don't have the money to have it shipped in this moment because I got here and replaced a bunch of things. Or got things because now I'm in a room. So then I got things for the room that, I didn't have
I understand. When
before.
I came back
that-
from...
all those things that when you move, that happen.
Mhm.
And so now I have to have boxes shipped to me because
But owning your sovereignty, that's actually a really good thing, because you see that, and you could be the victim here. You could
Yeah.
be like, oh my God, they can't ship it, and this is here, and that's here, and I know that would never be you, but you could be, right?
yeah.
But you're like, no, I can't ship it at the moment. Everything's okay. Everything, I'm replacing the stuff that's immediate that I need, like tweezers, and and if I need something else, I can wait for it, or it'll be replaced, and everything will be okay.
Yeah.
And that is part of that personal sovereignty, that personal responsibility, and that personal belief system that you are the creator of your reality.
Yes. Yeah.
And when we
I
can
mean,
own
yeah,
that,
yes, because we leave so many things. People tend to leave so many things to external, like validations, or I don't even know the right word in this moment. But external things, and that's that victim mentality, right?
Mhm.
Or the opposite of that is the martyr, right? I did all the things, and yeah, or you have the victim of, it's always happening to me.
Uh-huh.
The life is happening to me. I have a friend who is such the victim all the time, and it just, right, like, take some fucking responsibility. If you're just existing in your life, then you're just playing the victim. No one is out to get you. No one's out to fucking get you.
They don't have time.
They don't have
They're out
time. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
There's there's this whole thing, right? And everything comes up to like these simple things. This is what we're actually thinking about. Okay? We're thinking about looking good or looking bad, right? We're thinking about anything that's said to us, if is it true or false, do we trust it or distrust it? Why, how, because, in order to right or wrong, like or dislike, good or bad, what's the problem, what's the solution, what's the answer, do you agree or disagree, should you or shouldn't you, or what's in it for me? Every interaction you have comes down to that.
Yeah.
So when you get to be quiet, so it's one of the things about the communication, and we talk about this a lot in my communication stuff, is that when you can start quieting that and just being with the person, then
Yeah.
you can start actually feeling what's going on. Then the energy could be one of the beautiful things when I started actually understanding the energy work and understanding that section of it. And the fact that I'm talking about this, Heather, hallelujah. I know one of the things that's been great about that is losing that thought process. I normally
Yeah.
don't talk about, I'm not thinking about what it is I need to say next,
Yeah.
or if I agree with you, or if I look good or bad, most of the time. I do that all before I get on camera.
Yeah, yes. Because so many times we listen to react and not respond. So like we're only taking in enough to defend yourself in some way. A lot of people are like that. And I get like that too. I mean, everyone does it. Though I'm not so bad about it anymore because I've worked really hard to not, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? To listen to the other person's point of view. And one of my favorite sayings is, other people's business, other people's opinions of me are none of my business. At the end of the day, no one has lived my life. No one truly knows what I go through. And anyone that says that they know you better than you know yourself is full of fucking shit because they are not in your head and they don't know truly what you have gone through.
Nor can they.
Nor can they. No, right. This is not a like right or wrong thing. It just
Yeah.
is. Right? It's one of those things that I say it just is. Because there is no right or wrong to that. But no one knows what you've been through. And you know, I actually said that in a group where it was like one of the neurodivergent groups that I'm in on the book. And they said, you know, give some advice type of thing. And I said other people's opinions of you are none of your business. And this guy responded back with, well, that's bullshit. Basically, that's bullshit. And everyone cares about what other people think. And da 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 da. And I said, no, I don't, because you don't live my life. And
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I just don't. Because it doesn't like if you are walking around worried about what other people think about you, then you are not connected to yourself. Because if you're worried, they're not thinking about you.
They're not.
They're not. They're thinking about what you think about them. That's what they're thinking about. Other people are thinking about what you think about them. I, at the end of the day, right? And you're not living my life. You know, and he wrote back. I responded once to him and I was like, well, that's not how I live my life because I don't really care what you think of me. And then he found this meme that said, you're a liar.
Oh.
And I didn't even justify him to a response to it.
Yeah, at that
Right.
point.
And then someone else responded, you know, and they had an opinion of, well, if you work with a bunch of people that hate you, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna matter. And I'm like, I have worked for people who did not like me.
Oh,
They
I can
couldn't
promise
complain
you.
about how I was on the job, but they didn't like me because I wasn't intimidated by them. I respect you for your position. I respect you because you're my boss. But respect both works both ways. and you wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for me.
Yeah. I
Because if
have.
I wasn't in the classroom teaching your subjects, you wouldn't have a job as the dean or the president of the school, you know. And people get so intimidated by other people. And I'm like, I have worked with some of the best doctors in the Vegas Valley. And, you know, at one point I worked for the head of oncology for the oncology board of the state of Nevada. Like, you can't, I don't get intimidated. I just don't. I've never met someone that truly intimidated me
Yeah.
because I don't care what you think about me. As soon as I walk away, it's my own life, and you're not living it.
Exactly. And I've had to deal with that with. I'm sorry, guys. I keep touching my eye. This eye is watering really bad today. And my sinuses are going crazy. So I apologize. I realize I keep touching it. I'm like, yeah. Um, I've had to deal with that with my family members. I've had to deal with that, with everybody. Literally, I came out when I was 18. So
Yeah.
I've definitely dealt with, and there was a time when I cared a lot more. I'll be honest with you. There was a time when I cared a lot more.
Well, of course.
And I think that part of that is age. Like, you
Yes, for
start,
sure.
like, you kind of know who you are. When you know who you are, it doesn't really matter what anyone thinks about it because you know who you are. And you can say that. I know who I am.
Yeah.
And then you just get into, that's just it. You have to know who you are. And then once that happens, everything else can be dealt with. And there's bouts. I talked about this on the podcast before when my dad looked at my book and just handed it back to me. I was like, something, anything, say something. Like,
Right.
I kind of do care. Like, there. And then I realized what didn't matter. It really didn't. It was, and he didn't realize that he didn't say anything because we did end up having a conversation about it. But he doesn't understand what I do, and
Right.
is against half of it. So that book wouldn't be for him anyways.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Well,
just
because there are always those people in your life that you quote unquote want their approval in some way. Because everyone does need some sort of validation. Anyone that says that they don't need validation from other people is full of shit. Let's just say that, right? But you can't have your whole life dependent on someone's validation. But there are certain people in your life that when they aren't excited for you, even if they don't get what you're doing,
mhm.
they don't have to get what you're doing to be supportive. I have people who love me and support me 1000% on what I do and have no fucking idea what I do.
Mhm.
Right? They don't truly know what I do other than that I read some oracle cards.
Right.
Right?
The outward stuff.
And I'm like, and that's the least, and sometimes it bothers me because I am like, I am so much more than that.
Mhm.
Not that there's anything wrong with me reading cards or people who do for a living, and of course, because I make money doing that as well.
Mhm.
But I'm so multifaceted that, you know, like, do you listen to what I say? If you even listened to what I said, sometimes you would know what the fuck I do. Um,
Oh my god, how many times have I said that? Have
right.
you have you watched the latest video? Like, I literally you know, step by step through the whole process I'm working on right now. Like, well, how would you not know what I do?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yes, there are people in your life that you want to say, and your parents are one of those people.
Hmm.
Like, there's no one out there that does not want their parents to say, I'm proud of you.
Yeah. And
Or your friends to say they're proud of you. Or your people, I try to tell people when they do something that is just amazing, that they've made a step, even if it's the smallest step in their healing process or in something going on, I always say I'm so proud of you for acknowledging that, or that sort of thing, because it helps to raise their vibration and change their thought process, right? Because that positive reinforcement, of course, is, and that affirmations and those words coming from someone else. If we could do it all ourselves, we wouldn't have to talk to each other.
Right. We are communal beings. We crave connection,
Yeah.
and it's and we are connected, but we forget that and we block ourselves out from that connection all the time. So if we don't get those connections, and I could go through the science of it all, how we're connected through our heart chakras and how the energy radiates off our heart, and we can change people's moods, we can change everybody's stuff. And I could go through, there's tons of science to talk about this. But if we don't get those kind of connections, we start to have depression. We start, which is one of the things I deal with all the time. I spend a lot of time alone. So I have to ask myself, have I spent too much time alone? Am I okay? All right, what is the actual issue? Right? Am I eating right? Did I do this? And oftentimes, often, it's that I haven't gone, I missed karaoke.
Yeah.
I missed karaoke a couple weeks because that's a connection point for me. I have friends there. I hang out. It's really low commitment for me. Believe it or not, I can up and sing without thinking about it. And if I really and I get some acknowledgement because I'm pretty damn good. And so I know that's one of the ways that I deal with this. Deal with
Right.
some of these things is that I just do karaoke. And if I do karaoke every week, every other week starts getting iffy. But if I do that, I'm okay. And then talk to Heather.
I'm so I know I'm so I spent so many years feeling obligated to go spend time with people and not filling my own cup. I had an uncle one time say he used to complain that he didn't see me enough, right? And I would go over there every couple months, and I said to him, I work full time and I have 2 days off a week, and I know there's you and 30 other people want to just have some time.
Mm-hmm.
And if I spent, I could go 6 months and not see the same people on the weekend if I made plans with everyone that said they wanted to hang out with me. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Um, and so I always would push myself through however I was feeling, whatever I was doing, whatever I was going through. It was going to a barbecue here, or going and hanging out here, or going to this and doing this. And by the way, I don't like people at my house. So there's that part. Unless I'm having a party and I'm inviting a bunch of people over, or you're a really close friend of mine, I just don't. I, I'm a there's like 5 people that could just show up at my house and I would be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're coming to my house, I need to know that you're coming over because I need to prepare myself for you to be there. Um, but I have gotten so comfortable with being by myself and not having a vehicle and not going out and doing things that I am scarily okay to not leave my house. To the point where like I have to force myself to go do social things because I am so okay with who I am that
Mm-hmm.
I get enough interaction doing lives, doing this, doing the podcast once a week, talking with my clients or, and or my friends and that sort of thing that I'm okay.
I was for a long time. Honestly, I was pretty okay with not having, but it's been a while. I stopped really seeing people when Eddie and I broke up, which was back in 2015, so about 9 years ago. It's been almost, oh my goodness, it's been almost 10 years. Ooh. Oh, those memes are getting ready to come up. Yay. Um, but I stopped kind of going out. I stopped doing things right around then. I was working crazy. Mom was crazy. Um, but I realized now how much better it is for my mental health just to go out once a week. Just do something.
Yeah.
Because when I don't, and that's me, you know. I was doing lives, I was doing things, and actually, at that point, I was doing Primerica, so I was doing rallies every Friday. You know, I was still seeing people more,
Right.
and I worked outside the house, working inside the house, being online all the time. I'm so ready to be done with this project, so I can take a day where I can like literally turn off everything. That will be that's my reward next week. Next week, I am literally going to take a whole day and I'm not going to turn on any devices and I'm going to go somewhere else, be outside of the RV. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it, it's a lot.
I actually could use some ocean or something
Hmm.
to see part of this beautiful state that I live in because I mean, I do love a good adventure, and I can make anything an adventure, by the way. I can make anything an adventure. But, stepping into who you truly are, getting back to claiming your sovereignty and who you are, so many times we think that we need someone else to connect with our higher power, source, sky daddy, God, the force, divine, goddess, whatever you want to call it. Um, that we need an external person telling us what that connection should look like.
Hmm.
And the reality is you will never feel more you than when you define what your beliefs are for you.
Hmm.
When you start saying, does this really serve who I am? Do I agree with this, or is this just something that I've been told? And this goes for anything, by the way, not just your connection to your belief system, but any part of your life where you feel like there is lack or that you're not connected. Maybe you just don't feel connected to yourself at all, is to question, why do I feel that way? Why do what is it about myself that, you know, where did I get that belief system? Where did I get that thought process?
Hmm.
And does that serve me? Is that who I am? I used to lessen who I was to make other people comfortable because I have always just had big energy. I had big energy. I have big energy. I had, like, it's like not big now. Um, I have big, huge energy. When I walk into a room, I fill a room. I do. When I walk in, every every head turns when I walk into a room. And for a long time, I tried to shrink myself to make other people comfortable because I always raise the vibration.
Hmm.
I always raise the vibration.
Or lower, depending on where your energy level is. Your energy is normally pretty high. I deal with
Yeah.
it. I deal with more of a roller coaster than you do. Um, yeah, definitely. And I did an exercise once, and try this. Okay, go into a room where people are, and see how count the seconds on long it takes them to acknowledge you're there. Don't necessarily do anything. Just walk in. Like if you're in the kitchen, walk into the living room. If there's people in the living room, or if you're in one part of your office, walk into the next part of the office and see how long it just takes. And I was working with Landmark Worldwide at the time, assisting on a big project, and their conference room was way in the back where they actually did all the events, and then they had a front. The office was kind of more in the front, and I was going back and forth a lot, and I had somebody tell me, "Try that. Just try it and see what happens." Because I wasn't feeling good about myself at the time, because I deal with that. It's one of the things I deal with. And I walked in, and within 30 seconds, someone acknowledged me every single time. And then, as a joke or a test for me, I watched other people walk in the room to see how long it took for somebody to acknowledge them. And sometimes they got acknowledged, and sometimes they didn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes they had to do an outward thing, or they just kind of walked by, or you know. So obviously the energy is there, right? And I can almost guarantee you that when you think about it and you start testing it, and the more you test it, the bigger your energy gets, and the more energy collects for you, and the more magnetic you become.
Yes, and then it depends on what energy you're giving off,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you're the person who always tries to stay positive, or at least the majority of the time, no one's positive all the fucking time. Like, come the fuck on. But with that being, but if you're the one that's positive most of the time, you always put a smile on your face. You always, you're going to get a different response as well in that
Mm-hmm.
experiment, right?
Oh yeah.
And then there's those people who take up space because they're exuding negativity,
Mm-hmm.
because they're the bitchy one at the office. They're the whiner, the complainer. Nothing's ever good. Nothing's ever this. Nothing ever that. And then you watch the energy when they walk into the room and the different response, because the response might not be that someone acknowledges you directly, but the response might be that when someone specific walks in the room, you go, ah, right?
Yeah.
Because, oh gosh, now here we go. What are we going to deal with today? Who
Mm-hmm.
are we going to, what the fuck is going to be the problem today? There are people that I know that, like, I have that reaction when I see their name on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
We've all had those people in our lives where you go, oh, do I want to pick this up or do I not? Do I have the capacity for this or do I not have the capacity? Because you know that you don't know what you're going to get when you pick up the phone. Which goes back to that victim or martyr mentality, right? That
Right.
um, the world is out to get me.
Yeah, I like to call it damsel in distress or Captain Save a Ho.
Yes.
The damsel in distress. Oh my goodness, life is so hard. You gotta come save me all the time. Or it's all happening to me, and everything is always here.
Yep.
And then there's Captain Save a Ho. That's always, hey, let me fix that. Hey, let me do this for you. Let me do this. Let me do that. You know,
Right. How do
and
I make it right?
how do I make it right? And
Yeah.
both are just tragic. Just tragic places in our drama society, as I call it. You know,
Yeah.
go out, set in dumpster fires, and hanging out with train wrecks.
I used to be a dumpster fire. I used to be a dumpster fire. I used to be one of those that I would like get off of work and I would go home back when you still had a house phone. Though I had a cell phone, but you would go home and get on your house phone.
Hmm.
I just aged myself. And and someone's out there going, "You had a house phone?" Anyway, um and then I would talk about like all the crappy things that happened all day.
Hmm.
And we do this, everyone does it, right? You have one thing happens during the day, and then I would I would be on the phone for 2, 3, 4 hours talking to different people, and oh my gosh, and blah, 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 that sort of thing. And what a miserable existence that is.
It is.
Right?
It
because
is.
one bad thing, does not make for a bad day.
No. No, and one of the things I really respect about you is when someone is having that moment, right? Because we talk so much. I talk to you so much. Often when you're having that moment, it's like, okay, and then it's done. Okay,
Yeah.
it's done. Let's So where are you doing now? Oh, okay, cool.
Well, yeah, because when something frustrates me, now I get it out, I say it once, and then I'm done with it. Like I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, I've had because I allow myself to actually feel the emotion of being frustrated about it. So where before it wasn't that, it was perpetuating that energy. And now it is, okay, I'm going to get it out and release it and be done with it and not let it affect me anymore. Right? And if
Yeah.
it's something really big, then I say, then I turn inward, right? So if my reaction is over the top of, because I have moments, I'm neurospicy. There are things that just set me off for no reason. I don't have a reason other than it. That's not how I had it in my brain, and you just fucked up my peace in some way. It's usually what it is. And I know that I'm being fucking irrational. Like, I know
Hmm.
I'm being dramatic. I know in that moment that I am. I know that like, that I'm fucking being ridiculous. I have even stopped in the moment and go, I know this sounds fucking ridiculous, but, like, because I can't control it. Like, you know, and then as soon as I have that moment and I get it all out, then I'm like, okay, now I can go back and change that story of, like, what was I telling myself? What story was I telling myself before the situation? And, what actually happened and and then I can
Yeah, you can separate
separate
what
it. Yeah.
happened, what happened from the drama.
Yes.
So the drama being the story you made about it, all the feelings you have about it, all the, you know, rational or irrational. Sometimes they're rational feelings. Someone punches you in the face, you being pissed off is kind of rational, right?
Right. Right.
don't don't get me wrong. The negative emotions are we classify emotion in positive and negative, but really they just are emotion. And sometimes they're warranted, and a lot of times, they're not. And it's kind of like stress.
See, I don't like that because that makes it sound like you're negating emotions, and that is not true. Uh, There is a trigger in some way, whether it be like I, I might be ridiculous in that moment of I know that I'm overreacting in the emotion that I'm having, but that doesn't negate the emotion itself.
I can understand that.
Right? Because we don't want to disqualify anyone's emotions about things, right?
Right.
Because then that's saying that they shouldn't have the emotion that they're having, and I know
That's
that's not what you intend, but that's how
no,
it like kind of came across, and that's not. I don't think that's what you meant because we're not
no,
negating the emotion itself,
no,
but
no.
you don't have to perpetuate that emotion more than what it is.
Right. Actually, it only lasts for 15 seconds if you just let it breathe and stop running a loop. Now, the fact is, to people that can actually do that, glory be unto you.
Right. Yeah.
Once in a great while, once in a blue moon, I could catch myself and like breathe it out. Okay, this is what I'm feeling. Okay, separate it out. This is what the experience is.
I am
And,
much better about that now, and it takes work, you guys. This is not something you have to really start to be self-aware. So that's, I mean, I guess that's really one of the first things is to be self-aware of how you're reacting to things, catching yourself in the moment, and it takes work. It is not an overnight thing, right? When we say to meditate, no one sits down and shuts their fucking mind off the first time they meditate. In fact,
mm-hmm.
it takes people years and years and years and years and years to do that. And sometimes I'm really good at it, and then there are days where my mind just wanders the whole entire time, right? you, but be, no matter what you're going through, no matter where you're at in your journey, just be fucking nice to yourself. Please be nice
Oh
to
yeah.
yourself. Show yourself a little grace and forgiveness and kindness, because we are so hard on ourselves that, we talk about shadow work, and shadow work is this big buzz lately, which I talk about shadow work as well. But for me, shadow work is not letting, like, everyone always is like, have the emotion and let it go, or it's not about that. It's about making room for all of yourself, right?
Mm.
Instead of hiding the shadow parts of yourself, which that's the shadow work part, is to love and accept yourself unconditionally for all of you, for every part of you. That is the shadow work. It is not, the shadows are never going to go away. You don't ever, no matter how, it still happens, right?
Uh,
Even if there is not much of an energy attachment to it anymore, meaning that when you have that memory, every flooding emotion doesn't come back from that,
mhm.
from the thought of it. That's the healed part. But loving yourself despite all of the things that have happened, that's the shadow work. It is making room for all of you and loving
Yeah.
yourself unconditionally. Because I'm going to say this, and there's going to be someone who's going to comment or say something at some point when they listen to this, and you can fucking come at me. You have to love yourself more than you love anyone else, and that is
Mhm.
including your children. And I will fight you over that every fucking day, all day long. Because the only person that you can truly love unconditionally is yourself.
Mhm.
We are conditioned to think that we need to love other people unconditionally, and that is fucking bullshit. Of course there is, like, because if someone treats you like fucking shit, they should not be in your life. Whether you love them or not, loving them unconditionally is fucking bullshit. The only true person that you can love unconditionally, and this includes your fucking children, is yourself.
Mhm.
And someone's going to go, "That's not true." It is fucking true. And if you don't think that, then you need to start working on yourself, because you
Ask a gay boy.
huh?
How many queer teens have been kicked out?
Yeah.
Those children that you love so unconditionally.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And even your children, you can love your child and not like them,
Oh yeah.
right?
Parent, child, sibling.
Which is not loving them unconditionally, right? Unconditionally means there's that you like, you love, you all the fucking things, right? That's what unconditional is. There are times where I don't like my children.
Lies.
And there are
Lies.
some people who have some pretty horrific fucking children out there.
Mhm.
Other people's children.
Some
I don't like
people.
other people's children.
I don't like it.
I don't. If you're not related to me, I don't like your children.
Probably not.
I mean, if I consider you family, you already know. But
Right. And
I mean, if we're close, your kids are my kids. Let's be honest. But I yeah, I don't like other people's children.
I just realized I did not grab the cards from the side.
Oh, 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 oh,
They're right-
oh.
They were right there. And I thought about them when I went and made my tea, and I did not grab them because I'm lazy.
But everyone, it's really time for you to start just sitting with yourself. And do you like yourself? Let's just start there. Do you like yourself? List the top 5 most important people in your life. Where are you on that list?
Yeah. Funny. funny. That came up in Spencer's uh, in the breakthrough experience that was in Chicago. That was one of the exercises. Is write down 5 people, and then the question was, "Where are you?"
Yeah. Where are you on that list? And if you don't like yourself, then why?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Everyone wants to know where to start. That's where you start. Do you like yourself? Do you really like yourself? Because before you love yourself, you have to like yourself. I need to make a shirt. By the way, plug in our merch. Spiritualsexandcandy.com. We have a bunch of merch, other shirts besides our logo, but our beautiful logo. And
And you model them so well.
I need to make one that says I love me some me.
I love me some me.
Cause I love me some fucking me. And I like me too, cause I'm fucking badass. And I love
You
every
really are.
bit of me. I love all the dirty parts. I love all the kinky parts. I love myself through all the alcohol and the drugs and the, you know, and the traumas and the life experiences that I've had and the tremendously large amount of loss that I have had in my life. And through every time that I have started over, even literally right now, I am starting over with very minimal, and building something new here. I love me some meat.
I love you some you. I love you some you too. I said it right the first time. I love you some you.
Yeah.
I love me some you.
So I love this. This is sound. This is the card we got today, which was sound, and it's all about vibration, music, silence, and rhythm. We have our own vibration that we give out into the world. We have our own unique vibration. Our voice, when we speak, has its own unique vibration. It is your energy. And sometimes you just need to be fucking silent. And when you're looking for the answers, sometimes you need to shut your fucking mouth and sit in silence and deal with what comes up.
I don't like those days.
If you can't sit with yourself in silence, then you need to like yourself more.
No, it's the dealing with what comes up days. Those.
Well, yeah.
You know, I like me some me too. I like me some me. And some days when I'm actually doing that kind of work, that it's days that I don't like me some me, and so things are gonna come up that I don't like,
Yeah.
and I don't like those. So I don't like those days, and they're super important, guys. Having a strong connection with yourself, really, as Heather said, if you can't connect there, that's number one. Out of, I call it the 3 knowings, and it's the number one knowing. It's who you are without any of the labels.
And
Be
how
with
are
you.
you truly connecting with anyone else if you're not connected with yourself?
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm loving this card too. And I'm realizing this card's for me. It is the Nine of Cups.
Ooh, he's sexy.
Is he? Isn't he? I love my St. Jinx Tarot. It's the gay arcana. He did such a great job. He's such a great artist. I love him. He does other oracle too. Check him out if you like sexy, sexy men on your cards. But the Nine of Cups is the cups of completion. It's complete. It's the wish
Yes.
card. What do you want to do next? What's coming up for you? You can celebrate who you are and what you've accomplished and where you've been in ways that are so beautiful to you.
Oh, I love it.
Celebrate who you are. Celebrate you. Celebrate where you've been. Even if it's been through some hell and through some shit. Guess what? You're here. You got through this, and you can create something new tomorrow. You can create something new right now. What does it look like? What's your wish?
I love it. I love it.
Me too.
Where can everyone find you?
Go to spiritualsexandcandy.com. You can get into my profile. And you can see everything. I'm working on some new things that are amazing. The Circle, if you are a gay man, gay, bi, or questioning man, message me. Like, really, we're creating something really amazing that I am super proud of. Super proud of. Where can they find
I love
you?
it. Go find me on all the social medias, Living Oracle Wellness. You can pretty much Instagram and the old Talkity TikTok. And you can go to spiritualsexandcandy.com. You can get the link to our merch. You can also get all of my links to all of my social medias on where you can find me. And you can also DM me to get readings or soul sessions. Where you get to come and have some energy work done and unpack some things and get some, drop some wisdom, as my friends like to say it. Yeah, let me drop some wisdom on you and help you work through what you're going through in this moment.
Love it. I love it. Thank you guys all so very much for being here today. If I could be of assistance, or Heather, message us. Let us know in the comments below, what are your thoughts about today's episode? And know that you are loved. I'll see you guys soon.
Everyone here at the True Awesome Network asks you to please subscribe, like, comment, and spread awesome.